You ever seen 5 squad cars, a damn SWAT team, and a chopper in the sky, showing up because a man dared to dig up his own lake? Yeah, that happened. And the kicker, the lady who called it all in Brenda Farwell, HOA president with a god complex the size of Texas, had no idea the man she was trying to frame didn't just own the lake. He owned the whole damn county. Let me back up a sec. The man's name is Wyatt Thorne, widower, former civil engineer, quiet type, but built like a man who's carried too many burdens for too long. Folks in Willow Ridge didn't pay him much attention until one morning. He climbed into an old yellow excavator and started tearing into the lake behind his property. Not for fun, not for some dramatic tantrum. No, Wyatt was trying to figure out what was killing his fish. 3 months straight. He'd wake up to dead carp floating like silver ghosts. Belly up, eyes cloudy, just lifeless. That lake wasn't just some decorative pond. It was his granddad's legacy, the place his wife, Lauren, used to sit with him every Sunday, planning the family they never got to finish building. She died of cancer 2 years ago. And in her last days, she made him promise never let anything rot that lake. Never stop fighting for what's right. So that's what Wyatt was doing. Fighting. He'd had his suspicions. Knew that back in the 80s, the HOA rerouted part of the drainage system through the lake, with his granddad's permission back when neighbors trusted each other and shook hands like it meant something. But now Wyatt was finding things his granddad never agreed to. 20 minutes into the dig, Wyatt hit something solid, too solid. Not clay, not rock. Concrete, PVC, sewage piping, and not some city-approved structure either. He brushed away the muck and found cracked junctions. Brown sludge seeping right into the lake. Raw sewage, chemicals, God knows what, and stamped right into the concrete 2019. That's when Wyatt knew. This wasn't neglect. This was sabotage. And who installed it? The HOA. During Brenda Farwell's term, the woman who drove a black Escalade with tinted windows and ran Pine Valley HOA like it was her personal kingdom. She'd approved illegal construction under the radar cut costs by skipping treatment lines and dumped the problem literally onto Wyatt's land. And the moment Brenda saw Wyatt's excavator tearing up her dirty secret, she did what entitled tyrants do. She picked up her phone and screamed domestic terrorism. Next thing you know, sirens, tactical gear, helicopter rotors, and Wyatt, standing by his machine, holding a folder of permits and water rights signed by his grandfather, documents that hadn't seen daylight in decades. Brenda stormed in, phone out, live streaming. This man's unstable, grieving, and dangerous destroying critical infrastructure. Wyatt didn't flinch. He just said, Brenda, this ain't your infrastructure. This is my land. This is my lake. And those pipes you're so mad about, they're illegal. But Brenda wasn't after truth. She wanted a show. She wanted Wyatt in cuffs, humiliated, dragged out in front of the neighborhood like a criminal. She even called in Sheriff Miles Dalton, figuring his badge would do what her HOA title couldn't. What she didn't know is that Sheriff Dalton used to fish that lake with Wyatt when they were kids, that he was one of Lauren's pallbearers, that he knew exactly who owned every inch of that land. When Dalton pulled up, he looked at the mess, then at Brenda, then at Wyatt's folder. This is the original land grant, Wyatt said, voice calm. My grandfather never transferred full utility rights. These pipes, this contamination, it's trespassing. And I've got water samples to prove it's poisoning the groundwater. Dalton opened the folder, eyebrows rising as he saw federal seals, water board clearances, and a master deed dating back to 1942, but Brenda wasn't done. She pivoted from cops to the court of public opinion. 2 nights later, she called an emergency community safety meeting. You ever walk into a gym full of neighbors all looking at you like you set their house on fire? That's what Wyatt walked into. Photos of his dig projected on a screen, cropped to hide the leaking pipes. Fake testimonies from concerned residents read aloud. She even paraded a nervous board member named Gerald to say Wyatt threatened him. And just when it looked like the crowd was ready to eat Wyatt alive, a twist. Elena Vasquez, HOA treasurer and a mother of two, stood up shaking, holding a USB stick. Brenda knew, she said. She knew about the sewage system. I have recordings. And the room turned. Voices rose. Questions flew. Brenda tried to dismiss Elena as emotionally unstable, but the damage was done. So Brenda did what snakes do when cornered. She launched Plan B. Within 48 hours, she filed a civil suit with 60-plus signatures, accusing Wyatt of harassment, property damage, emotional distress. But it wasn't just to silence him, it was to bankrupt him. That's when Wyatt's lawyer, Mason Quinn, dug into HOA records and found fire. Brenda had taken out private loans in the HOA's name, mortgaging community property to pay off her son Trevor's gambling debts, forged signatures, fake meeting minutes, money gone, all hidden behind HOA bylaws nobody ever read. Still, at the first hearing, Brenda won. Elena recanted her statement, tearfully claiming Wyatt manipulated her. Wyatt lost. Cameras caught Brenda's smug press conference out front. She even called him an unstable widower playing God. That night, Wyatt almost gave up, almost. But then, his door was broken into, laptop stolen, security feed corrupted. Only one problem: the backup footage was stored off-site. The footage showed Trevor, Brenda's son, breaking in with lockpicks. Searching, not stealing, looking for those deed files. And after the break-in, Elena called Wyatt, whispered, terrified. They threatened my daughter's scholarship, said they'd ruin my credit. I'm sorry, but I recorded everything. And she had not just the break-in, she had audio of Brenda planning it. Wyatt's lawyer filed for an emergency hearing. Judge Morales presided, a stern woman with a long memory. She reviewed the original land grant, Elena's real testimony, the financial fraud records, the environmental reports, and the break-in footage. Then, dead silence. The HOA is dissolved effective immediately. Management reverts to Mr. Wyatt Thorne as the legal heir. Criminal charges will proceed. Trevor was arrested in court. Brenda collapsed in her seat, mascara streaking as FBI agents moved in. Neighbors gasped. One woman clapped. Wyatt just stood there, holding Lauren's locket in his palm. But that wasn't the end. Wyatt didn't just win, he rebuilt. Elena was voted to head the new Willow Ridge Community Council, transparent, elected, accountable. First order of business, the Lauren Thorne Environmental Fund, using the recovered money to install proper filtration and safeguard water for generations. Mason, the lawyer, became a hero featured in Legal Weekly, hired by 3 other towns to dismantle corrupt HOAs. And Wyatt, well, Wyatt became a legend. 8 months later, he got a call from a young insurance rep offering new coverage plans. The voice was familiar, Brenda. No smugness, no spin. Just tired. Soft honesty. I'm rebuilding, she said. For real this time. And maybe that's the real win. Because the story didn't end with a lawsuit or a lake. It ended with a neighborhood learning what justice feels like. Wyatt didn't just stand up for his land. He stood up for all of them. And on the first anniversary of the new council, as kids fished off the dock and music played across the water, Wyatt stood by the lake he once nearly lost. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't destruction, it's resurrection. What do you think? Was Wyatt right to go that far? Should Brenda get a second chance? Let me know in the comments, because these stories, they don't end in courtrooms. They keep going in places like this, where community either means something or nothing at all.